Alright guys, so I don't know what happened to that other Bruce Lee magazine I had. Now this one, I did find it, but it is kind of water damaged. Now I'm reading this article here, which was written by Doug Palmer, who was a very close friend of Bruce, and he actually traveled with Bruce Lee to Hong Kong. It's in black and white here, if you guys don't believe me. Bruce Lee magazine. I got a whole bunch of this Bruce Lee stuff here, and I got a bunch of Bruce Lee posters and drawings too. You know, at certain points I've had so much Bruce Lee stuff that I've actually had to get rid of it and sell it. But then, you know, I find myself just reacquiring it. Now, it says Bruce with students, including Doug Palmer to the left. That's him. And it says that he would later go on to study Asian languages at Yale. You know, these are highly educated people that Bruce was surrounding himself with. Now, it says in this article that this guy Doug, he was interested in sports and different, you know, things from old Asian culture, but he had no idea what Kung Fu was. So when he started learning from Bruce, he just viewed it as just another class. So he goes to Hong Kong with Bruce, and this is just crazy, the story this guy's telling. Here he is, and he's doing a sparring exercise with Bruce, and you know, I mentioned to you guys the praying mantis training he had. This technique here we refer to as first kick in praying mantis, and usually when you cock the leg here like that, you're gonna kick and try to control the elbow, and you're gonna grab the guy and try to set up a punch where you can just keep punching in on him and you're gonna step behind him and trap the leg. But regardless of that, Here's a photo of Bruce doing a Chi Sao exercise, which is sticky hands from Wing Chun with Yip Man. And it says here that Bruce and I would work out. He let me accompany him when he went to study with Yip Man. But he told me not to let on that he was teaching, well, foreigners in general. So I was just introduced as a friend from Seattle, and I sat and watched. I watched Yip Man and Bruce work out, particularly at sticking hands. Now, Bruce could absolutely dominate everyone at sticking hands, and even people who were much bigger. Bruce could just move them around at will. But Yip Man, who was smaller than Bruce, was his equal. You know, again, equal. So, you know, again, you Wing Chun guys, you deluded Wing Chun assholes that have just bought into the bullshit propagated by these other Wing Chun guys that had lesser ability than Bruce, that were jealous of him, you know, that want to attack the credibility of a dead man, you know, that just did so much for martial arts. You guys just don't even realize you're just suffering from these indoctrinated beliefs and, you know, this cult of personality shit with these Wing Chun guys. Now, there's just so much to this. There's just so much to Bruce Lee. Here he is, he's working on his hand speed with a hanging paper target board, okay? This is all stuff that nobody does anymore. This is old school as hell. It's cool as shit. It's awesome. And you guys that don't train, or you're just what I refer to as a cheerleader or fucking dilettante, You guys, you just don't have a fucking clue how good this guy was. Not only was this guy way ahead of his time, arguably in a lot of areas that he pioneered, he's yet to be equaled. Like, not even close, guys. Not even close. You know, lately I've been running, I've been doing an endless amount of calisthenics, I've been powerlifting, I've been doing a lot of traditional karate and kung fu. I've been doing a ton of JKD and Filipino arts, but at this point I'm more or less a JKD purist. You know, I got my brick here, and I hardened my knuckles on this in my hand. You see there, that's blood, guys. I've probably put 10 years into this thing. You know, that's what I do when I sit here and I'm watching TV. I just pound the shit out of this fucking brick, and I read, and then I have these Bruce Lee things to inspire me. And it kind of mentally prepares me for the next day. You know, like I said, I'm not even necessarily a Bruce Lee fan, but, you know, if you're a martial artist and you're specifically a Jeet Kune Do practitioner, or even an MMA guy, you know, how could you not, you know, acknowledge everything this guy has done for martial arts? He helped revolutionize the film industry. You know, here he is, he's doing camera work here, guys. He's doing actual camera work, and he's switching up a tape roll on old school camera. You know, not to mention, you know, aside from being a martial artist, this guy probably had more sincere close friends than pretty much anybody any of us have ever met before. And, you know, that's very telling about what kind of person he was. You know, these are some of his workouts I was telling you guys about. This stuff is insane when you read this. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, you have... It's insane. This is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, this guy kept methodical notes for years. Dan Inosanto, he showed me some of these notes. I met him in a seminar, like almost 25 years ago. He had some kind of seminar,